Gamergate is something that every few months we hear being mentioned by game journalists or people who are trying to profit off of it, and we've heard about several movies, TV shows, even books based on Gamergate that either were supposed to come out and have already been canceled, or projects Hollywood is working on. But Brianna Wu announced that she's going to be part of a brand new Gamergate series, and apparently Zoe Quinn isn't happy about this project because she wasn't invited to be a part of it and has absolutely nothing to do with it. And right now, of course, Brianna Wu and also Zoe Quinn are being roasted on the internet over this whole situation, over the fact that someone greenlit another Gamergate series. But before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I want to start off with this Deadline article. It says fictional Gamergate series in the works from Mind Rot Entertainment and video games developer Brianna Wu. She doesn't deserve the title of video game developer, more of a video game hustler, but it says Mind Rot Entertainment will work with journalist, game developer, and computer programmer Brianna Wu for Gamergate, a series about her experience as a critic and target of the notorious 2014 online harassment campaign, for which the studio has optioned life rights. Now, of course, it's not really surprising to see headlines like this and titles like this, oh, the notorious 2014 online harassment campaign, because actually a few months ago, Wikipedia changed the input of Gamergate to say Gamergate and then harassment campaign. But of course, this is always what journalists run with, oh, it was an online harassment campaign, and they completely ignore what Gamergate was actually about. They never acknowledge the other side of Gamergate, like, oh, what is everyone else's opinion on Gamergate? No, they only listen to people here like Brianna Wu. The 2014 Gamergate online harassment campaign ignited a firestorm for its targeting of women in the gaming industry, which laid the foundation for current issues of disinformation and hate. Before QAnon, there was Gamergate. Wu was among the targeted women, which also included Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian. The most fictitious thing about Gamergate here is their description of it. Gamergate was not a harassment campaign. It was about accountability in games journalism, and these people, whether they're journalists or game developers, quote unquote, like Brianna Wu here, they will do anything to twist its meaning for attention. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's a gross interpretational twisting of events to fit into a narrative that they were trying to get big off of. It says the series will explore the origins of the widespread intimidation campaign from the perspective of multiple fictional people in the game industry, from executives to journalists and indie developers. Now, we clearly know that there's going to be a lot of self-inserts here, okay? It's a fictional story, they're calling it, but Brianna Wu's part of it. It's apparently supposed to follow Brianna Wu and the situation she went through, so of course it's going to be one of those situations where they rename the characters and change a couple of details about them, yet we're going to probably easily tell who the people are that they're referencing in the story. It says Gamergate is co-created and co-written by Wu and J. Brad Wilk of Camel Spiders, and will be produced by Mind Rot Entertainment's Jonathan Kesey of Parallel and Jeremy J. Dodd's One Nation Under Earl. A lot of different things that a lot of people aren't going to know what they are. A lot of different names that don't make me more drawn to the project at all. I just go, okay, and who are these people? Why should I care they're working on it? It says in 2014, the personal attacks forced Wu and her husband to flee their Boston home in the wake of online death threats as a result of her efforts to support female game developers, journalists, and players targeted online by violent and sexist attacks via social media and message boards. In the aftermath, she ran for Congress in 2018, where she's gotten curb stomped, by the way, representing women in tech. Wu Wu has shared her story in a number of publications, including the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Guardian. All different places she's tried to capitalize on GamerGate, twist its meaning, get some attention out of this situation, because this is all people really know Brianna Wu for. I mean, she is not someone that's known in Congress. Even though she tried to run for Congress, she was running against people she would never win against, and she got absolutely wrecked by them. But her experience, along with other GamerGate targets, have been addressed in a number of television and film projects none people would probably be able to name off the top of their heads. We heard a few months ago that there was going to be a GamerGate Hollywood movie, and there's been absolutely no news on it, which, to be honest, isn't that surprising. While yes, there will always be people who will support these types of projects and will watch them, this just isn't a subject I see doing good in a movie or a TV form. I genuinely don't think enough people will care about watching a movie on GamerGate. Something that happened 7 years ago. People like Brianna Wu are clenching onto things like GamerGate still because they'd be completely irrelevant without them. Now, of course, over the years, Brianna Wu has made some out-of-this-world statements. She had even said this on Twitter a few years back. She said, "Whoever controls the moon can also interfere with satellites used in Earth's communication system. GPS targeting systems are vulnerable." This is being covered as a fun hijink for rich people, but the idea of a private corporation having access to moon should give you pause. Now, of course, it's no surprise that she got absolutely smashed by Stephen Lynch in votes for the primary for U.S. House Massachusetts District 8 back in 2018, but she also decided to make this statement very recently. She said, "We're not going to retread the same story told in thousands of news stories from outlets such as the New York Times and Washington Post, plus multiple documentaries. Our series will focus on new fictional people within the industry reacting to a horrific situation. By explaining how they were unable to stop the video game industry from being hijacked by the lunatic fringe, we can show the tactics of GamerGate were the same ones that led to tragedies like Christchurch." So as you can see, Brianna Wu will do anything for attention on social media. To compare GamerGate to the Christchurch tragedy is absolutely disgusting, and they've got nothing to do with each other. It was a heinous hate crime and over 50 people lost their lives, and there's nothing to compare here. By doing that, she knew that she would get people upset and knew that she'd get attention for it. It's why I didn't interact with any of her tweets or any posts about it, because I refuse to give her social media accounts any clicks. I do not want to give them any attention at all, and that's why I'm simply just reading an article or two about the situation. But there's a bit of a other situation along with this initial one, because Zoe Quinn is unhappy with Brianna Wu's plans for the GamerGate TV series. If I had been asked, I wouldn't have been okay with it. She sounds a little bit angry that maybe she wasn't invited to be part of this project. Maybe she's mad that this is all going to be brought back up in a new TV series, especially after the whole Alex situation, which I'm going to discuss in a minute. It says one of GamerGate's most central figures is unhappy with Brianna Wu's recently announced decision to develop a series based on the 8-year-old internet happening. It says announced on October 4th, her series will reportedly aim to explore the origins of the intimidation campaign from the perspective of multiple people, like I had read a minute ago. However, despite Wu's excitement at the chance to tell a disingenuously slanted interpretation of the events, Zoe Quinn is less than thrilled that such a project is moving forward. It sounds like she's a little bit angry about the situation. It says, "Since I'm getting a lot of emails about this, no, I've got nothing to do with that TV show. I learned about its existence at the same time as the rest of you, and no, I was not asked, consulted, etc., and if I had been, I wouldn't have been okay with it, that's all. I continue to reject any oversimplification of GamerGate that leaves out its roots in white supremacy, domestic violence, things like that, and if I am portrayed in it, it's without my involvement or any input on my end. GamerGate was just a giant cash grab for these people. Look at this, not even a year after this quote-unquote traumatic experience happened to her, aka GamerGate, she was banking in on books and movies and anything she could, and she's mad right now that she is is, seeing another GamerGate project be made, and she's not part of it because a few months ago when they had announced another GamerGate movie that she wasn't part of, Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu were furious over that situation because they weren't talked to about it. So this was an article from 2015. It says Zoe Quinn announces new memoir, movie rights already sold, and of course she never got that movie that she wanted. She never became this social media icon like she thought she was gonna be. But Zoe Quinn was, in my opinion, the dirtiest of the three women who were pushing this idea about Gamergate. Anita Sarkeesian and Brianna Wu did try to ruin people's careers and scammed people out of money, but Zoe Quinn did all of that, and she was also at the center of the Alex Haloka situation, which I don't think she ever deserves to live down. Zoe Quinn accused Alec of sexual assault, a lot of other things as well, and after massive outrage pointed towards him, and without him even being given the chance to defend himself publicly, he took his own life because of how pressured he was feeling. So if she was part of this project, she'd definitely have to face all of that public scrutiny again, and I bet she doesn't want any more of her dirty laundry being aired to the world, so I bet she's mad for a multitude of reasons, because she wasn't consulted, because she's not part of this movie, because she didn't get her own movie, and of course all of this, all of this drama, a lot of the situations that have surrounded her, a lot of that social media scrutiny will end up being dragged into the social media eye again. I truly think this is going to be another social media movie that they say they're going to make, and in 5 years we're going to go, where the hell is it? I don't think they're going to come out with this, and I just don't think there's going to be enough people who are going to want to watch this and who are going to just go, oh my gosh, this is peak entertainment. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.